that works for you. Give me 1 second. Just okay. Right. So we're going to do some box breath to start. Not box breath, sorry. We're going to do some 4, 7, and 8 breath. So if you just want to take your seated posture choice, if you want to sit on a block or a cushion, that is more comfortable for you, just take the pressure off the hip flexors, that's absolutely fine. I'll explain 4, 7, 8 breath in a minute, but for the time being, we're just going to start that process of slowing down. So if you just want to start rolling your shoulders in any direction, large circles, be slow and deliberate. Think about taking this opportunity just to slow down and start checking in with yourself. Relax the forehead, the area around the eyes, and if you want to give that bottom jaw a little waggle, then feel free. Helping remove any tension. Go back the opposite way with the shoulders. Once you finish waggling the bottom jaw, think about bringing the lips together. Place the tip of the tongue in the roof of the mouth. And just allow that bottom jaw to hang within the closed mouth. Let the shoulders settle. And we're just going to start to roll the head in any direction. Be slow and deliberate. If that neck is feeling a little bit tight or grumpy, if you don't want to aggravate it, then just keep the head still and focus on your natural breath. But for the rest of us, we're going to go back the opposite way. Again, start to be interested in your body this evening. Imagine you've got an empty outline of your body, and as we do every posture, you're going to start colouring in that outline to give you, by the end of the practice, a better understanding of your body today. Just let the head settle. And we're going to start to draw a figure of 8 with the head. Imagine either your nose or your chin, if it helps. Draw a large figure of 8. I might take a few moments just to coordinate. And draw large circles of that figure of 8. And then you're going to start to reduce the size. It's going to become a smaller movement. I'm going to go back the opposite way, large figure of 8. Again, use your chin or the nose to be the part that you draw the figure 8, and slowly get smaller and smaller. If you can't get a good figure 8, it really doesn't matter. Just move the neck, be curious, and then let the head settle back in the center. Once we're there, we're going to look over the left shoulder. Just raise the chin up a fraction of an inch, try and draw that left cheek as far as it can to the left. Just keep holding, keep a tall spine, and then just let the head roll across the chin, or the chin across the chest, sorry, so you look across the opposite side. And raise the chin up a little bit. Be curious to see if there's any differences on the sides without any judgment. And let the chin roll to the center. And then point the chin down, so really lengthening out and arching the neck downwards. And then when you're ready, just roll the neck back, chin to the ceiling, stretch the underside of the neck. And then when you're happy, just bring the head back to the center. We're going to gooseneck. So we're going to slide the head forward, stick the chin out, very attractive. And draw the head back, chin towards the spine. And just let the head settle. Just shake it off in any way that feels nice for your neck. And then just let the head settle back in the center. So if you can, close your eyes. Otherwise, keep a soft gaze without focusing on anything specifically. And just start that process of checking in with yourself. Start to slow down. Start the physical scan from the top of your head down to your toes. Picture that photocopier line or bar scanner line systematically working its way through you. Be curious about your body today. And as you continue with that physical scan, just sum up to yourself at the same time in one word how you're feeling this evening. Don't judge yourself. Be honest with yourself. Wherever you're sitting on that emotional spectrum, it's okay. You can't always feel fantastic. But hopefully you all are. And hopefully by the end of our practice, we're going to feel a little bit more grounded, balanced, ready for the rest of our week. When you finish the scans, the physical and emotional one, and there's no rush, just start to observe that natural breath this evening. Observe the natural inhales and exhales. Try and fight that urge to deepen it, or go into your 3-part breath. Just let the body do its thing and see if there's any difference from the last time you may have observed your breath. Or if it's the first time, just be curious. What's the depth like of the breath? Is it shallow, deep? Is the breath smooth? Or is it raggedy? What's the rhythm like? What parts of your body are being used this evening? There's no right or wrong. We're just using the breath to help anchor us in the present. To fight that urge to let the mind wander off either into the past or into the future. Both are irrelevant. Anchor yourself in the only thing that really matters, which is being present. If we can achieve that, then we increase our chances of flourishing, finding contentment and happiness. If the mind does wander, and it will at some stage, don't get frustrated. Just gently draw the mind back as many times as you need to the breath and any sensations you may feel in the body. As you continue to observe your breath, I'm just going to explain the 4, 7, and 8 breath we're going to do in a moment. So in a moment, I'm going to ask you to all inhale fully to my count of 4. Chest and bellies expanding, fully inhaling. You're then going to hold that inhale to my count of 7. And then you're going to fully exhale, completing the exhalation as we get to 8. So you inhale for 4, you hold that inhale for 7, and then you exhale to my count of 8. So I invite you now, in any posture that you're in now, to fully exhale as quickly as you can. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Last round. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Just let your breath return back to its natural rhythm. Observe those ebbs and flows of the inhales and exhales. Rescan the body, and perhaps your emotional scan as well. Just be curious to see if there's any subtleties, any changes in the depth or the rhythm of the breath, any changes in the body, any changes in the mind. If there aren't, that's okay. Just using these techniques to help anchor you here and now. Just savor any moments of stillness, calm, presence, however fleeting. Remember, you can use these techniques, particularly that 4, 7, and 8 breath, at any stage in your day. If you're having a moment where it all becomes a bit too much, you're getting a bit flustered, panicked, or you're just stressed, use these breath techniques, whether you're sat at your desk or the car, in a meeting, wherever it may be. I invite you now to start coming into your yogic breath, your 3-part breath. Drink the breath in deeply, ideally through the nose, fully inflating the lungs, belly's ballooning, side ribs expanding, the front of the chest expanding as you complete the inhalation. Then on the exhale, you release the air from the top of the lungs, the side ribs go back in, and you draw the belly in and up, engaging the pelvic floor with every exhale. Try and improve the quality of every breath. Deepen the inhales, and try and make those exhales twice as long as the inhales. Keep working at the breath. Keep the face and jaw relaxed, the tip of the tongue and the roof of the mouth. Be grateful for every breath. Picture with every exhale a mist leaving you, releasing that tension from the body, any tightness in the muscles, and anything that doesn't serve you emotionally or physically today, release it. It doesn't matter how many times you need to release it. Gently persevere. As always, remind yourself right from the get-go, this is not about being good. This is not about being flexible. You're not competing with yourself or anyone else. We're here to give back to ourselves, to create some space for ourselves, both physically, emotionally, and mentally. Savor any moments of stillness you can create. But if you are having one of those days where your mind is just can't settle and the monkey chatters too much, then it's okay. There's no such thing as a bad practice, and this generally isn't about being good. As you continue with the breath, I invite you to place the hands down by the sides. We're going to extend the legs forward enough so our knees point up, and we can start to windscreen wipe the legs. Just ease yourself into it this evening. Look over the opposite shoulder. Keep the face and jaw relaxed. Keep a long spine and micro bends in the elbows. Regardless if you're feeling tight or clunky, keep focusing on the breath and listen to the body as it moves. Anchor yourself as best you can in the present. Then meet you back in the center. Once you're there, you're going to come into a tabletop in the center of your mat. Bring the knees together. And then when you're ready, push back onto the heels. Keep the arms extended. Come up onto your fingertips. Push out of those fingertips, working the buttocks down. This may generate a little stretch in the shoulders. If it's too much for you having your knees underneath you, then take the knees out wide so your bellies can hang into the gap. Otherwise, try gently rocking from side to side with the hips. Keep focusing inwards. Focus on that sensation of you rising and falling off the thighs as you fully inhale and exhale. Go firm in the center with the hips. Then on the next exhale, walk the hands around to the left. You'll feel the lateral stretch build on the right. You're going to pause, push out of the fingertips. Try and keep the weight over the center line. So you're not leaning out to the left. The weight of the buttocks is over the heels. And breathe into it. Deepen the inhales. And lengthen the exhales. On the next inhale, bring the hands back to the front. And on the exhale, walk them around to the right. And again, when you feel the lateral stretch this time on the left, you pause, push out of the fingertips, breathe deeply and fully into the left hand ribs. And on the next inhale, bring the hands back to the front. This time we are all going to take the knees out wide so the bellies can hang into the gap, so that we can then gently rock the hips from side to side. You may feel this if you're feeling tight in the groin this evening. Keep pressing out of the fingertips as if you're working the buttocks down towards the floor. Deepen the inhales and lengthen the exhales. Go firm in the center with the hips. Flatten the hands And then when you're ready on the next exhale, sweep the right arm underneath the left, tucking the right shoulder, lowering the head down. You can choose, you can either keep the left arm where it is, or you can have a high left elbow to gently lever, or if you prefer, take the back of the left hand, place it onto the right tip, and draw the left shoulder open. Either way, breathe into any areas that feel tight, evenly distribute the weight, and focus inwards. Engage the core, and on the next inhale, return both hands to the front. And once there, on the next exhale, sweep the left shoulder, lowering the head down. Again, choose between either a high right arm or taking the back of the right hand, placing it onto the left hip, and drawing the shoulder open. Decide what works best for you on this side, and breathe into it. And when you're ready on the next inhale, engage the core and bring yourself into a tabletop. Once again, this time we're going to bring the knees back together, and then you're going to push back onto your heels, keeping the arms extended. We're going to start to draw a V shape with the hips. On the next inhale, bring the right hip towards the right arm, pushing back towards the heels, left hip to the left arm. And then repeat in your own flow, gently pressing into the sides with the hips, trying to turn that V into more of a C or a U shape, depending on your range this evening. Keep the bends in the elbows, keep splaying the fingers, gripping into the mat, and work the breaths. Be grateful for the range of motion you do have. The next time the head comes to your hands, you're going to take your head beyond your hands and start to draw a figure of 8 with the head and a figure of 8 with the hips, or as close as you can get. It doesn't matter what your figure of 8 looks like. Keep the face and jaw relaxed. And go back the opposite way. Compare the directions without any judgment. Modify as you need. And then when you're ready on the next exhale, push back into child's pose, sitting back on the heels, arms down by your sides. Allow the body to melt and surrender. Breathe into it. Focus on the sensation of you rising off the mat. So off your thighs as you fully inhale. And then as you exhale, draw the bellies in and up, engaging the pelvic floor, and then release and repeat. On the next inhale, interlace the fingers behind the back, draw the arms away from the spine, slight bend in the elbows, and hold and breathe. Aiming to keep the arms where they are, engage the pelvic floor, and inhale yourself up so you end up sitting on your heels. Draw the shoulders down the back, tilt the head back if it feels good. Breathe into the front of your chest. Keep micro bends in the elbows. If it's too much for you, then you can come up onto your knees. Otherwise, keep holding and breathing. And then on the next inhale, we're going to release the hands, sweep the arms forward, come up onto the knees. We're going to sweep the arms up and behind and come into a gentle back bend. Keep the core engaged. And then on the next exhale, slowly lower the hands down. Teeter on the knees, control it. We're going to end up in a tabletop. Try and feel that core having to work as you eventually end up in the tabletop. And once you're there, you're going to tuck your toes so that on the next exhale, you can push back into downward dog. Splay the fingers, lift the hips high, slide the shoulder blades down the outside of the ribs. And if it feels good, walk it. If you're feeling really tight this evening, it really doesn't matter. Just be curious about your body. Breathe into the areas that need it and modify as you need. Then on the next exhale, you're going to slowly lower the knees down, ending up in our tabletop. Once you're there, you're going to untuck the toes. And on the next inhale, we're going to keep the elbows tucked in, swoop down with the head and chest coming up, finishing in the cow with the shoulder blades together, hips to the ceiling, bellies ballooning. Then on the exhale, we're going to swoop down again with the head and chest, chin to the chest, roll the spine up as you complete the exhale into a cat. Inhale, swoop down into your cow. Take the whole inhale to get to the end posture. Exhale, swoop down and reverse, chin to the chest, roll the spine up, completing the exhale as you get into a cat. Inhale, swoop down, coming into a cow. We're going to hold the cow this time. Turn the spine into a skipping rope, held from the head and hips. Move the torso across the right. As you exhale, come into a cat, chin to the chest. Move the torso to the left, dropping down with the belly as you inhale to a cow, and then repeat in your own flow in time to your own breath. Keep gripping into the mat, splaying the fingers or beyond your fists, but keep micro bends in the elbows to help protect them as well. Just explore your body this evening. Again, it doesn't matter how good you can replicate the skipping rope. Just listen to your body and go back the opposite way. Exactly the same, but in reverse. Breathe into any areas that feel tight or grumpy. And then when you're ready, I'll meet you back at a neutral table. The toes, back into downward dog. Lift the hips high, splay the fingers, grip into the mat, bend the knees as much as you need. And then when you're happy on the next exhale, you're going to step, jump, or walk your way towards the front of your mat, ending up in a forward fold. We're just going to pause here for about 10 breaths. So if you're feeling really tight this evening, you can either rest your forearms onto the thighs, try not to press into the kneecaps, or have your hands on a block or the deck, or just bend the knees and come into your ragdoll. Be kind to yourself. Think about the spine. Try and lengthen it out with every inhale and every exhale, releasing a little bit of tension. Try and allow the neck and head to hang. Don't hold them up. Deepen the inhales and lengthen the exhales. Just allow the arms to hang back down to the deck. And then when you're ready on the next inhale, come halfway up. Depending on your range, you can have your fingertips on the deck, or you can have your hands on your shins, or you can have your hands completely off and unsupported. Either way, have a long flat back. Then exhale, lower the hands back down. Bend the knees if you need. On the next inhale, reach up with the left hand. Bend the right knee. Look to see where the left hand's gone. And breathe into that twist. Think about bringing the weight back over the heels so you're not leaning out to the right. If this is really hard for you, you can put your hand on a block, or you can just place the right hand onto the right shin, making it a bit more accessible for you. Then on the next exhale, slowly lower the left hand down. Before you inhale the right arm up, bending the left leg, look to see where it's gone. Again, bring the weight back over the heels so you're not leaning out to the left this time. Deepen the inhales and lengthen the exhales. On the next exhale, slowly return the right hand down. Engage the core, place the hands onto the hips, and we're going to roll the spine up. So place the chin onto the chest, think about the vertebrae. So that on the next inhale, you're going to tuck the tails, keep the chin on the chest, slowly stack the spine, one at a time, there's no rush. And then eventually you're going to have the shoulders stacked, and then you can release the chin from the chest and roll the head. And once you're upright, release the arms to the side. We'll come into a sun salutation. We're going to inhale the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Take the whole exhale to come down. Inhale, come halfway up. Lengthen the spine. Before you exhale, lower the hands down. Step, jump, or walk your way back into your high plank. Hold for a breath. Bring the shoulders over the wrists. Drop the knees if you need. And exhale, slowly lower yourself down under control. Inhale to your back bend of choice. Lengthen the spine, elbows tucked in. And on the next exhale, push back into downward dog. If you need to use your knees to transition at any stage, that's absolutely fine. Once there, feel free to walk it. Lift the hips high. Work that breath. And when you're ready on the next exhale, step, jump, or walk your way towards the front of your mat, ending up in a forward fold. Inhale, come halfway up, lengthen the spine. Then exhale, lower the hands back down. This time we're going to place the hands onto the hips, particularly good if you've got lower back problems. Engage the core, long spine, and inhale yourself all the way up. Before you exhale, release the hands to the sides. We're going to come into a sun salutation variant. We're going to inhale the arms up. Then on the exhale, we're going to sit down into chair pose. Roll the shoulders down and back, tuck the tails, sit back into it. If it's too much with your arms up front, bring them into prayer posture hands. Then on the next exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come halfway up, lengthen the spine. Before you exhale, lower the hands down. Step, jump, or walk your way back into high plank. If you're stepping, try and alternate the legs. Bring the shoulders over the wrists, drop the knees if you need. Then exhale, slowly lower yourself down under control before you inhale to your back bend of choice. Then exhale, push back into downward dog. Again, feel free to walk it once you're there. And on the next inhale, raise the left leg for three-legged dog. So they're keeping the hips parallel to the deck, let the head hang down, raise the left leg as high as you can. Then on the next exhale, sweep the right knee down and through, squeeze it up into the chest, push out of both hands, so your tiger curling, and then step forward, left foot. So you end up nicely stacked, knee over the ankle. If you need to help the foot forward, then do. You're then going to slowly lower the right knee, untuck the right toes, engage the core. With a long spine, inhale the arms up, low crescent lunge, draw the arms back into the shoulders, tuck the tails, press the hips forward. And on the next exhale, slowly lower the hands down, take the whole exhale. Once there, tuck the right toes, raise the right leg, and inhale, sweep the left leg back, high plank. Hold for breath. Drop the knees if you need, then exhale, slowly lower yourself down under control. Inhale to your back bend of choice. Before you exhale, push back into downward dog. Once again, feel free to walk it. Evenly distribute the weight. And then when you're ready on the next inhale, raise the right leg, three-legged dog. Keep the hips closed and parallel to the deck. Raise that right leg as high as you can. Let the head hang down. And then when you're ready on the exhale, squeeze the right knee up into the chest. Try and kiss the knee, press evenly out of both hands. And then when you're ready, step forward with the right foot. Again, make sure you're stacked, right knee. Lower the left knee, tuck the toes. Long spine. Engage the core, inhale the arms up. Low crescent lunge, tuck the tail, press the hips forward. Breathe into it. Engage the core. On the next exhale, slowly lower the hands down. Take the whole exhale. Once there, tuck the left toes, raise the left leg. Inhale, sweep the right leg back, high plank. Hold for a breath. Drop the knees if you need. Then exhale, slowly lower yourself down under control. Inhale to your back bend of choice. Before you exhale, push back into downward dog. Hold for a few breaths. And then when you're ready on the next exhale, step, jump, or walk your way to the front of the mat. Ending up in a forward fold. Inhale, come halfway up, lengthen the spine. Then exhale, slowly lower the hands down. We're going to sit back into it, rest the tummies onto the thighs. Then on the next inhale, bring yourself into chair pose, but this time with prayer posture hands. Tuck the tails, press the palms together, draw the shoulders back. Breathe into it. Evenly distribute the weight. Then on the next exhale, twist to the left. Try and take that right elbow to the outside of the left leg. Draw the thumbs to the heart center and lengthen the spine. If you can't get all the way there and you just need to hover and twist, that's fine. Inhale back to the center. Before you exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come halfway up, lengthen the spine. Then on the exhale, lower the torso and hands down. You're going to stack yourself on the left leg, raise the right leg up. So we're going to try and keep the hips closed, keep that right leg engaged as high as you can. And when you're ready, slowly step back with the right leg so you end up nicely stacked again. Left ankle, left knee over the left ankle. Engage the core. And on the next inhale with a long spine, inhale yourself up for high crescent lunge. If you need to drop the right knee, that's fine. Keep nicely stacked to the front. Keep holding. Press the right hip forward. Try and engage and straighten that right leg. Then on the next inhale, we're going to windmill the right hand open as we open up the hips. We're going to go into warrior two. But before we do, think about the front heel pointing into the back arch. We're then going to sink into the front leg. So we're nicely stacked, knee over the ankle. If you crack forward with the shoulders, bring the shoulders back over the hips, look through the left index finger, breathe into the warrior two. Then on the next exhale, you're going to push out the front leg, pivoting forwards. We're going to place the left hand just below the left knee, stacking the shoulders, reaching up with the right hand, left shoulder under right. Think about the hips, left hip under the right. That may be enough for you. If you have the range, you can slide the left hand down, bringing the right arm over the top. Again, if you can't keep the shoulders or the hips stacked, go back up a little bit higher. Keep holding and breathing. Engage the core. And on the next inhale, windmill the right hand back, sink back into warrior two. Nicely stacked, shoulders over the hips. Then on the next exhale, we're going to go into warrior, reverse warrior. Place the right hand down behind you. Bring the left arm over the top. You can either look down at the back foot or up at the top hand. Keep nicely stacked to the front. If you want to take an alternative bind with the right hand behind you, that's your choice. Engage the core. And on the next exhale, we're going to bend forward, either resting the left elbow onto the left thigh, or take the left hand down, bringing the right arm up and over the top. Still nicely stacked to the front with the left knee over the left ankle. Engage the core. Then on the next exhale, sweep the right arm behind you, interlacing the fingers behind the back, drawing the arms away for humble warrior. If it's too much, just place the hands down. Otherwise, on the next inhale, release the hands. Place the hands down, framing the front left foot. You're going to naturally want to turn the hips so they're parallel to the front of the mat. Then from there, walk the hands around to the right. We're going to go into a wide-legged forward fold. So just adjust your gait, turn the toes in slightly, engage the core, just place the hands onto the fleshy parts of your thighs so you can pull the thighs backwards on the exhale. But forward folding, release the hands down. Just take stock of your range. You might want to have the hands below you or in between the feet, fingers facing backwards, or come into ragdoll. Whichever works for you. Don't force yourself into anything. Try and release the head and neck. Deepen the inhale and lengthen the exhale. Then on the next inhale, place the hands down to the front, lengthen the spine. And on the next inhale, reach up with the left arm. Keep a long spine, look to see where the hand's gone. You may find that you dropped the right hip. So bring the hips up on the right-hand side so that you can parallel to the deck. And then if it feels good, take the back of the left hand, place it onto the right hip, and draw the left shoulder open. Breathe into it. And on the next exhale, slowly return the left hand down. You're going to turn the feet out to 45 degrees. And then on the next exhale, we're going to sink ourselves into the right leg. If it's too much for the right knee, then just go into a forward fold once again. Otherwise, try and come up onto the left heel. Dig the left heel into the deck so you're engaging the left leg, and you'll find the knee will naturally come up to protect it. Support yourself on the deck if you need. If you have the range, you can stack the shoulders over the hips and pull yourself from the crown and hold the balance and hold prayer posture hands. You're very welcome to stay up high. Hold into it. So think about the front or the left foot. It's pointing to the front of the mat. So where the foot's facing, the knee will follow. Oops. So in a moment, we're going to transition. You can either walk your hands there, or you can stay up high, and we can bring ourselves back up into a warrior two. It's your choice how you get there. If you want to walk the hands or just glide up. And on the next exhale, windmill the right hand forward, ending up over the bent left leg. Then inhale the left leg back, high plank. Hold for a breath. Drop the knees if you need. Then exhale, slowly lower the hands down. Open the body. Inhale yourself into your back bend of choice. And exhale, push back into downward dog. Just take a moment. We're going to do the other side in a moment. So when you're ready, you're going to step, jump, or walk your way to the front of your mat. Ending up in a forward fold. Inhale, come halfway up, lengthen the spine. Then exhale, lower your hands down. Sit back into it. Rest the tummy onto the thighs. Engage the core and inhale yourself up into chair pose with prayer posture hands. Tuck the tails. Gently draw the shoulders back. Press the palms together. And on the next exhale, twist to the right. I'm going to try and take the left elbow to the outside of the right leg. long spine. Again, if you just need to hover and twist, that's fine. Keep the core engaged. On the next inhale, slowly come back to the center. We're then going to exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come halfway up, lengthen the spine. Before you exhale, lower the hands back down. Stack yourself on the right leg. Inhale the left leg up. Try and keep the hips closed. And when you're ready, step back with the left leg. Step far enough back to keep nicely stacked. Right knee over the right ankle. And once here, engage the core, long spine, and inhale the arms up, high crescent lunge. Draw the arms back in the shoulders, square off the hips with the front of the mat, keep the left leg engaged. If you need to hold or drop the left knee, then do. And when you're ready, on the next inhale, windmill the left hand behind you, opening up the hips. We're going to go into a warrior two. So think about stacking the knee, front heel pointing into the back arch, sink into that front leg, draw the shoulders over the hips, look through the right index finger. Keep the face and jaw relaxed. And on the next exhale, push out the front leg, pivoting forwards, placing the right hand just below the right knee. Stack the shoulders, left on top of the right. Stack the hips, right underneath the left. That may be enough. If you have the range, slide the right hand down, bring the left arm over the top. Either look down at the foot or up at the top hand. Keep the shoulder, hips stacked, engage the core. And on the next inhale, come into warrior two again. Bend the front leg, stack the shoulders over the hips, look through the right index finger. Engage the core. On the next exhale, come into reverse warrior, lowering the left hand down, bring the right arm over the top, still stacked in the front leg. If you want to take that alternative bind with the left hand behind the back, then do. Then engage the core, exhale, pivot forward, either resting the right forearm onto the right thigh or taking the hand down to the deck, and then bring the left arm over the top, shoulder stacked, breathe into it. Engage the core. And on the next exhale, sweep the left hand behind you, interlace the fingers. We're going to do a humble warrior. Interlacing the hands, drawing the arms away, breathe into it. Engage the core. And on the next inhale, release the hands down so you end up framing the right foot. Once there, walk the hands around to the left-hand side. Coming back into our wide-legged forward fold, so adjust your gait, toes pointing in. Again, if you want to, you can gauge the core, place the hands onto the fleshy parts of your thighs. You can pull the thighs backwards. And on the exhale, release your head and shoulders down. And just take a moment, coming into ragdoll or keeping the hands on the deck, whichever works for you. Keep working the breath. And on the next inhale, place the hands down to your front, lengthen the spine, coming halfway up. Once you're there, you're going to inhale the right arm up. Long spine, look to see where it's gone. Keep a micro bend in the left elbow. Think about the left hip. If it's dropped down to the deck, draw the left hip up, and then take the back of the right hand, place it onto the left hip, draw the right shoulder open. Breathe into that twist. And on the next exhale, slowly return the right hand down. Turn the feet out to 45 degrees. And then when you're ready, sink into the left leg. Again, if it's too much that left knee, go into a forward fold or a child's pose. Try and come up onto the right heel. Dig the heel into the deck as if you're trying to pull it towards you to engage that leg. Think about the foot, the right foot that is, facing the front of the mat. And then if you need to keep your hands on the deck, that's fine. Or if you can stack the shoulders over the hips, prayer posture hands, then again, you're very welcome to hold this. If it's too much, then just put your hands on the deck. We're going to keep holding this. As we did before, we're going to walk the hands forward to enable us to go into warrior two, or we're going to float up into warrior two. Your choice. When you're ready, inhale yourself up. Nicely stack to the front, shoulders over the hips, look through the front index finger. And on the exhale, windmill the left hand forward, framing the right foot with both hands. Square the hips off with the front of the mat. And then this time we're going to inhale the right leg back, ending up in a high plank. Hold for a breath. From here, we're going to walk the feet up the side of the mat so we can end up in our yogic squat. If it's too much for you today for your knees, then go into a forward fold or a child's pose. Otherwise, keep the hands on the deck, or if you can, gently press the elbows into the inside of the thighs. Long spine, work the pelvic floor as part of every exhale. And when you're ready on the next exhale, slowly lower the hands down, transfer the weight to the hands, before you then drop the knees into a tabletop. Adjust yourself into the center of your mat. Your knees are hips width apart, hips over the knees. And then when you're happy, you just walk the hands forward. So your palms go together, lower the head and shoulders down, keep a long spine and breathe into those shoulders. On the next exhale, bring the palm of the hands towards the spine, prayer posture, hands above the head. Evenly distribute the weight, gently press the palms together and breathe into the backs of the arms. And on the next inhale, slowly lower the hands down. Before you exhale, transfer the weight to the forearms and lower the tummy down onto the deck. If you've overshot your mat, just shuffle back. We're then going to build our Sphinx pose. So we're going to bring the feet together, have the elbows underneath the shoulders, palms facing down. We're going to build this from the back end. So we're going to push the tops of the feet into the deck, engage the thighs and buttocks. You might find those knees come off the deck. And then when you're ready, inhale, push out of the rest of the points of contact. And breathe and hold. Just look in front of your mat so you're not straining the neck. Evenly push out of all your points of contact. And when you're ready on the next exhale, we're going to sweep the right arm underneath the left, tucking or coming onto the right hand side of your body. We're then going to place the left hand on top of the right. You're going to draw the left knee up, lengthening the spine. We're going to do a spinal twist. So on the next inhale, we're going to take the left hand away from the right, keeping the left knee grounded. Let to see the head follow the left hand and come into a long spine as you hold that twist. Don't force the twist physically. Keep the face and jaw relaxed and breathe into it. And on the next exhale, slowly return the left hand to drawing the right. Once there, you're going to bring yourself onto your tummy. We're going to start to build our Sphinx pose. Again, once again, push the tops of the feet in the mat, engage the thighs and buttocks, the knees come off the deck. Have the elbows under the shoulders, but this time on the exhale, we're going to lower the head down in between the shoulders. So you may feel a stretch start to develop in the shoulder blades and into the neck. If you're struggling to feel it, just make sure that the elbows are under the shoulders, or even just walk the hands a little further forward so you get the height between the elbow and the shoulder. And as you hold this, gently rock the head from side to side. Just breathe into any parts of the neck that feel tight or grumpy. And just let the head go firm in the center. And when you're ready on the next exhale, sweep the left arm underneath the right, coming onto the left-hand side of your body. Place the right hand on top of the left. Draw the right knee up, lengthen the spine, so that on the next inhale, you can take the right hand away from the left. Keep a long spine, look to see where the right hand's gone, and breathe into the twist. Even if you're tighter on this side, don't force the twist. Then when you're ready on the next inhale, roll onto your back. Adjust yourself back into the center of your mat. And once you're there, draw the knees to the chest, head to the knees, a tight little ball. Squeeze into it. Gently rock from side to side as you keep holding and breathing.
And when you're ready, release the head and neck down, place the hands behind the knees, and then with a long spine, start to rock the length of your mat, build some momentum. If you have the room, you're going to start to rock around any direction so that we end up with our feet at the other end of the mat. It doesn't matter how many rocks it takes you. And then when you're there, we're going to come into a cross-legged posture. Sit nice and tall. So we're going to do some alternating nostril breath. So if you want to place yourself onto a block or a cushion, you're very welcome. Otherwise, if you can't sit cross-legged again, that's fine. Or if you have a problem with one leg, just extend that leg. As long as you have a tall spine, then that's what we're after. We're going to use the right hand. We're going to use the index finger and the finger next to it, placing onto your third eye. You can support that right arm with the left if you wish. You can use the right thumb to close off the right nostril and the right little finger to close off the left nostril. You may find, however, depending on your hand size, you might want to use the ring finger instead. It's your choice. So whichever variant you're going to hold, I'm going to invite you now to fully exhale as quickly as you can. Close off the right nostril. Inhale fully through the left as quickly as you can. Fully inflate the lungs. Close off the left nostril. Exhale through the right. Fully exhale as quickly as you can. Inhale through the right nostril. Close off the right nostril. Exhale through the left. Squeeze those bellies in and up. That's one round. Inhale through the left nostril. Close off the left nostril. Exhale through the right. Big inhale through the right. Close off the right. Exhale through the left. Big inhale through the left. Close off the left. Exhale through the right. Big inhale through the right. Close off the right. Exhale through the left. Big inhale through the left. Close off the left. Exhale through the right. Big inhale through the right. Close off the right. Exhale through the left. Last round. Inhale through the left. Close off the left. Exhale through the right. Big inhale through the right. Close off the right. Exhale through the left. When you've completed the exhalation, release the right hand down and take the biggest inhale you can manage and hold it. Swallow, draw the chin in towards the spine, engage the pelvic floor and hold that breath. Think about relaxing the face and jaw. Relax the arms and shoulders, but keep the length in the spine. And just sit in any sensations that may arise. Gently challenge yourself with a breath hold. If the mind wanders, gently bring it back as many times as you need. When you've had enough of holding, there's no rush if you wish to keep holding, just raise the head, release the breath. And just sit back once again in the natural ebbs and flows of your natural breath. Try and keep the eyes closed or that soft gaze. And just be curious. See if there's any difference in the pattern of your breath, the rhythm, the depth. If there's any difference in the body or the mind, however subtle. Again, if there isn't, this isn't about being good. All we're doing ultimately is trying to help us slow down, be present. Focusing inwards,
focusing on that natural rhythm of the breath. Keeping the eyes closed and focusing on the breath. Invite you to lower yourself down onto your back, extending yourself out into Shavasana, corpse pose, the relaxation phase. So if you want to take a lion's breath at any stage, you're very welcome. Otherwise, put your warm katana or your eye pillows. Then tuck the shoulder blades underneath, the palms facing up, hips, knees, and ankles relaxed and rolled out. And once in position, allow yourself to surrender into Shavasana. Keep the eyes closed, the face and jaw relaxed. And once in position, I invite you to imagine we've been doing our practice high up in the mountains. Warm sun warming your face, a breeze fluttering colourful prayer flags around you. You look across at the mountain range, at the snow-peaked mountaintops, silhouetted by crystal blue skies. Sun occasionally glinting off the snow. Very faint, white, wispy mist swirling around the peaks. Your attention's caught by a beautiful bird of prey soaring high above, effortlessly hopping between thermals. If your mind starts to wander, focus on the bird of prey. I invite you to draw your awareness back to the present. Wiggle your fingers and toes. Reach your arms above your head, stretch out. When you're ready, draw your knees to your chest, head to the knees, and squeeze yourself into a ball. Keep holding that ball for as long as feels good, then eventually release it and roll onto your side and just take a moment. When you're ready, make your way into a seated posture of choice. Keep your eyes closed and just thank yourselves for giving this time back to you. If it feels good, take a deep inhalation, fully inflating the lungs. Then with an open mouth and a sigh, release any last tension you may still be holding. I invite you to place your left hand onto heart center with your right hand on top. Keeping your eyes closed, I invite you to say the following affirmation to yourself. I love my body. I love my imperfections. I love myself. For purity of heart, for purity of speech, and for purity of mind, the light in me sees and salutes the light in you. Namaste. Please take your time. Thank you for joining me. It's lovely to see you all, and I hope to see you again soon.